Hi, my name is Matt Ackerson, and I am the founder and CEO of AutoGrow.co, as you may already know. And today I am giving you 10 tips for how to create a high converting landing page. So creating a high converting landing page, a landing page that you write, design, launch, and once you set it up, once you launch it, it just sends you customers. It sends you predictable revenue, profits, client relationships being built. It's an amazing feeling, and I want to help you to achieve that for yourself, for your own business. Maybe you have to some extent, and you're just looking to improve, and that's great as well. Some of these tips are going to be really relevant for that, especially. And but there's a bit of an art and a bit of a science to it, and a lot of people forget some of these other tips, which are just really basic, and they underestimate their potential, and others they're unique and you may not have heard them before. So this is all going to be really good stuff for you. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to teach you in 10 tips how to create a high converting landing page that sends you continuous clients and customers, no matter what business you're in, no matter what market you're in. Hey, welcome back. So talking about your landing page, how to create a high converting one. And I'm recording this today. It's May 28th. And in a few days, it's actually going to be the 10-year anniversary since our company here, AutoGrow, has been in business 10 years. And in that time, we've helped over 700 clients in, I guess, hundreds of different markets and niches. So these tips that I'm about to give you, they're based on hands-on experience, and they're also research-backed. So with that being said, let's get into tip number one, which is to speak to your audience and avoid using corporate language. They don't like formality, all right? And as much as formality too, when you speak to your audience, they need to be able to understand what you're saying. So if you're using high-level vocabulary terms and corporate jargon, acronyms that they may or may not know, or you just have to kind of unpack it. It's like, okay, EPA means blah, 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 right? You have to unpack it. People want to understand what you're saying. So keep your language simple, keep it authentic, all right? I'm not wearing a suit right now, obviously, but listen to this. According to Business Insider, what you say to an audience isn't as nearly as important as how you say it. And further studies suggest that effective presentations are 38% your voice, 55% nonverbal communication, and only 7% your content. Now, I don't know how the hell that you actually slice that up and measure that. That's an interesting question, I'm sure, by itself. But in either case, nonverbal cues, people really tune into those, okay? So if you are, if you're on camera, you're recording a video, or even just, writing some copy for your actual landing page, the words that you use are very, very important, okay? And simpler is usually best in that way. So a great tool that I always love to recommend is Hemingway app, which can help you to make sure that your sentences are really simple. And what we aim for with our articles is to keep it, between a 5th and 6th grade level. And so, and this is kind of counterintuitive because, we're always taught in school, like vocabulary words and, build your vocabulary and speak really smart. But for marketing, for making sales, it's more important that people understand and that they're able to relate, and they don't have to unpack, pause the video, pause reading the copy on the landing page and be like, okay, okay, I guess I'll keep reading or not, right? And leave your page. And that brings us to tip number 2, write a clear headline. Don't try to make it so fancy. And this kind of channels a well-known saying in copywriting: be clear, don't be clever. Okay, be clear. It also goes back to and helps to highlight one of our 11 laws of sales funnel physics. Sales funnel physics, if you're not familiar, is a framework that we teach and created at AutoGrow based on our experience, based on, you know, reading and writing hundreds of different conversion case studies. And the law that I'm referencing here is the law of clarity, okay? Because again, if people understand what it is that you're offering and the benefits associated with it, they are much more likely to buy, all right? But if something is unclear, they're not gonna get it, all right? So with the headlines especially, so think about headlines in these terms. Law of visibility. That which is visible is more likely to get more attention and to be a trigger point for more conversions. So when people are skimming and scanning your landing page, because that's normally the behavior that people are going to take, they're going to look at the top headline, they're going to look at some of the lower sub-headlines, okay? And they're going to decide based on that, maybe look at some of the bullet points, and then maybe they'll go back. And if they're serious, yeah, they'll read through the whole thing, okay? And that is part of why some, longer landing pages are actually higher converting typically, because the more that you write, the more clear it is what actually people are buying, because there's more room to be detailed and to be clear about, okay, here's what the product is, here's what's included, here's what's not. It comes in blue, pink, and purple, for example. All right, so that brings us to tip number 3, which is to write a subheadline that supports your headline. Now, this goes back to another law of sales funnel physics, which is the law of alignment. And I like to say that the law of alignment is like an umbrella law. It arcs across all the other laws of sales funnel physics, okay? So alignment means that, for example, two ways to think about it. You're setting expectations. For example, you have an ad. The ad is showing on Facebook. It says, free checklist to double revenue for your coaching business in the next 90 days. Pretty specific, pretty clear, pretty good. All right, people are going to click on that. But they click on it and they're brought over to a landing page that is pitching them on buying something, and it doesn't say anything about the checklist, except maybe it's buried in one portion. Law of alignment. You set an expectation, you didn't really fulfill it in the next step, conversions are going to be significantly hurt, if not destroyed, from that. Compare that to the fix for that funnel not converting situation would be, okay, you want a checklist for how to double revenue for your coaching business in 90 days. Click here, you click on it, brings you to a page. Headline says basically the same exact thing. Sub-headlines help to support that. It's aligned, it's in alignment. So it's much more, the probability of conversion is much more higher on average, okay, when you establish that alignment. But alignment also applies in the sense of you're aligning with the preferences, the mindset, the most common questions, objections, in terms of anticipating them, that the prospective client or customer has, okay? You're aligning the design and the copy with them, with what's up here, okay? So when for tip number 3, when we say write a subheadline that supports your headline, it's channeling the law of alignment, because that subheadline that you write, and pretty much all of the copy in general on your page, it should go back and work to support that primary headline, which, if we're talking about, for example, the homepage of your website, and let's say it's a long form, sales page in and of itself. That headline at the top might be your unique selling proposition. In general, if you break it up, say maybe you don't have one long landing page, maybe you break it up over a few pages. Okay, homepage, get them interested, how it works page, features page, and maybe pricing ultimately. So you could break up a long form landing page that way as well. It's same thing, same principle at work. And you want all the other copy, but especially those sub-headlines or headlines on other pages to support that primary headline, which would be advertising your unique selling proposition, okay? Because if you go off on a tangent, it comes with a mug, people aren't going to care. Or they're going to feel like it's a distraction, and it's not, because what got them interested in the first place was that headline. Okay, so you want to make sure all sub-headlines and all the rest of the copy in general supports that primary headline or unique selling proposition. All right, so for tip number 4, you want to add an irresistible and clickable CTA button that people just can't ignore. And this plays on the law of visibility. CTA buttons work most effective when they're highly visible. People know where to find them, to click, all right? And they help to drive conversions because they are highly visible. They are usually a color that's going to stand out. The most attention-getting colors and the highest converting colors in terms of actually driving clicks and getting people to click from one step to the next are typically orange, yellow, and red, especially, right? Orange, yellow, and red. Now, if you really want to know, like, some markets are going to be different. You know, blue might convert really well for one market, but typically orange, yellow, and red consistently across the board outperform on average. To really know, you'd have to A/B test it, but if you're not sure what to start with, you want to go with those. Use the acronym in general, BABS, BABBS, big ass, bold buttons, big ass, bold buttons. Big should be sizable on the page, easy for someone to see who's just skimming and scanning, scrolling up and down, moving a million miles a minute. Yeah, I was just on Google, I'm about to click back, and oh wait, there's a call to action button. Let me go deeper in the funnel. So it should be highly visible, big on the page, bold. In terms of the color, we just talked about color choice. So in other words, bold in terms of like contrast, so it should stand out. If there's a lot of, for example, red already on the page, and then you have a red CTA button, that additional red on the page, it's really kind of diffusing the energy effectiveness, if you want to think about it that way, of the CTA button. So it should be bold in terms of the color contrast so that it stands out. Because if it's a green button in a forest of green, people probably won't see it, or it's just going to blend in and get a lower click rate. And finally, button. This may sound obvious, but it should be easy to be recognized as a button, all right? In other words, you should have rounded corners typically, some sort of an oval type of, like almost like a long pill shape works well as a best practice as well, okay? And you hover over it, maybe it kind of changes colors a little bit in responsiveness to the user actually doing that. All right. Further supported by the idea from WordStream, research from WordStream, over 90% of visitors who reported reading headlines also read the call to action copy. So in particular, too, another best practice is you want to pay special attention to the words that you put on the call to action button. Thinking in terms of the law of alignment, the words on that button are what set the expectation for the next step. Are they moving to checkout? Are they ready to buy? Are they going to see pricing? Are they going to go read the FAQ? So think about that strategically. Tip number 5, add social proof of any kind. And I wrote in parentheses here, be greedy on the actual article, which you can read the full description, and you can read the reason why I said be greedy. But to read about that reason, go click to read the full article down below. Just adds a little bit of more depth to what I'm saying here. So social proof, what is social proof? Testimonials, reviews, third-party accreditations. We've been featured in New York Times, all different types of news places. That's all social proof, all right? If you want to learn more about social proof and interesting ways that you can utilize it, I encourage you to click on the link to go watch my video called Social Proof Sarcastically Explained. You can learn more about it and be a little entertained in the process. But in case social proof is new to you, according to research from Impact BND, testimonials can increase conversions on sales pages by as much as 34%. And we're talking about a case study here. I've seen tons of case studies on this, but one case study showed about a 30% increase in sales just by adding a simple text testimonial. Now, that was when maybe, I don't know, that case study might have been from a little while ago, just to put it in context, and the internet is still kind of relatively young. So would that generate 30% increase in sales today? Probably not. Would it generate additional sales in general? Yes, maybe 10, 15% more. And why is that? Well, because buyers are becoming more and more savvy online. They're looking at different buying signals. They're looking for more depth. They want to really make sure that they can trust you and your brand. And one of the ways that you can help with that and more effectively implement this tip is to use pictures of people. Better yet, if possible, ask your customers or clients to record an actual video testimonial. 2-3 minutes, hit record. You can offer them, don't offer them like Amazon gift cards or anything like that, because you want it to be an authentic testimonial. But what you can offer them maybe is some sort of a discount on a future purchase, or even just more value in terms of, an extra something in terms of the service that you're providing to them. So it's value that you're giving that they want, because they like your product or service, for example. All right. So bottom line on social proof is use it, use lots of it. A very, in terms of like writing the benefits section of your copy, ideally you would have one testimonial or parts of testimonials that you can insert there, which directly work to support the fact that this is in fact a benefit that you are delivering if the person who's evaluating your product or service signs up to receive. Because, hey, this client over here, they just said that they got it. Oh, AutoGrow has amazing support. The live chat feature is fantastic. Wow, it was like the quality was amazing. The turnaround time was like fantastic, better than expected. And doing it through the app, seeing the progress bar from my digital marketing project go from 0 to 100, that was the best. Tip number 6, introduce and agitate pain points. Put your finger on it. So what is meant by this? A lot of landing pages and websites, they don't talk about the problem. They just go right into benefits and solution, like, oh yeah, assume, my product is so awesome. Solution, 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 benefits, features, FAQs, we're done. Well, there was a case study I read from Copy Hackers, Joanna Weeb over at Copy Hackers not too long ago. They A/B tested this. They put in place just a few paragraphs at the top of the landing page, which talked about the problem, which agitated the problem. What does it mean? I think it's a fairly common question for anyone who's, especially, if you're new to copy, or even if you're old to copy, experience with copy, you may not have ever thought too much about this point. What does it mean to agitate? All right, I'm going to give you a metaphor that you will never forget. You ready? So you introduce the problem, you stick the knife in. Okay, you agitate the problem, you twist the knife. All right, they're in pain, and it's metaphorical pain, but they are identifying with what you are saying. That's me. They say that's me on the page, right? And it's a proven persuasion technique that's at work here in the copy when you do this. It's called pacing and leading. Okay, and it works because you're pacing them. You're showing that you understand their problem at a fundamental level that is personal, ideally, right? They see themselves on the page, and that is very relevant to them. Because when you see that, even watch it in yourself. I know that when I read landing pages, I'm looking at buying something, and I see the problem being talked about. Like, that's exactly what I need it for. It's exactly what I need it for. So introduce the pain and agitate. Put your finger into the wound, twist it, or twist a knife. Tip number 6, add a solution statement, the solution that your audience needs. According to research from WordStream, 48% of landing pages contain multiple offers. No, don't do that. Keep it focused. Keep it simple. All right. One product per sales page, not go over here, I'll go over there. Okay, so keep it focused. And after, typical best practice, after you talked about the pain, the problem that you solved, you agitated it, it's time to introduce the solution. All right. And, some of you out there who are watching this, you might say, well, I've seen landing pages do this and the transition, and I don't know, it feels a little salesy or whatever your objection is to it. But these tips, they work, and that tip in terms of pain point and in terms of just explicitly saying what the solution is, it works as well. You want to clearly state in one sentence, what is it that you're offering? Again, just like before, don't use fancy jargon. Bring it down to earth. What is it? You might think your product is like the most amazing, innovative, like world transforming Tesla of whatever things, but they need to understand it, and they should be able to understand it relatively clearly from that headline. Oh, it's email marketing software for real estate professionals. Okay? Clear enough? You know exactly what that is when you hear that, right? The question is, when people look at your sales page, will they know what you're offering, what you're selling? Tip number 8, explain why your products or services are what your prospects need and include the benefits. All right, so this is what comes typically after the solution, and you can have some sort of transition, maybe sub-headline in there. But then you want to pick the top 3 to 5 benefits, okay? Pick the top 3 to 5 benefits, limit it to that, and then have a little bit of text explanation under each one of those. Keep it simple. It doesn't have to be a crazy amount of copy, all right? So at most, I would say short sentence for the benefit, kind of maybe, I don't know if you call it a sub-headline, but you know, kind of like, you can check out AutoGrow's homepage if you want a really good example of this. We have our top 3 benefits listed. All right, so we are currently on AutoGrow's How It Works page, and see, we break it down how it works. But here we're actually going to be combining our How It Works page with our homepage pretty soon, because you know, we feel like that's going to reduce friction in terms of our funnel. Less steps. So, and speaking of friction, the law of friction is something that you may want to learn more about. And if so, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel, to our newsletter, if you aren't already. But here you can also see, you know, we're talking about the problem, you know, we're agitating it, and we're transitioning into a solution statement here. All right, now, actually, I think we're kind of changing, you know, how we're going to describe this in the copy pretty soon. Like we're always testing new things, and you know, I guess I'd better describe it as, you know, it's watch me try to write copy on the spot, right? It's like project management software with a team of professionals hooked up to it, ready to receive whatever digital marketing projects you delegate to them. Okay, that's a little bit long, but long isn't necessarily bad, and maybe we'll shorten it up. But you can see here, solution statement, expanding on that a little bit, and now we're getting into, you know, top 3 benefits. Scale your business, short, sweet. So it's basically a benefit feature, okay? Social proof, baked in, designed to support what's being said, right? Then we have next benefit, description, so kind of like feature, and then text to back it up. Again, benefit, feature, testimonial, social proof to back it up. Tip number 9, which we actually just kind of already covered, show and explain your products or services features. Okay, so feature, think of it, benefit is, you know, the feeling, the end result that they get from investing in your product or service. Features is the how behind it. So how do they get the benefit? All right, and as you saw from me sharing the screen, it doesn't have to be a ton of text. It just has to be clear and easy to understand. All right, so moving on to tip number 10, explain how your product or service works in a simple way, almost for dummies, okay? So what we do within our sales funnel, and a lot of clients come to us and they say, oh, like, I really like how your funnel is set up. So we have multiple videos throughout our funnel, and we kind of break down the steps in video form as well, since some people prefer to watch videos instead of, you know, reading, and other people just prefer to read. So you want to break it down in simple terms. How do you get them from 0 to what you promised? Which is, in the case of AutoGrow, okay, delegate all of your digital marketing tasks without the high cost of hiring. All right, well, step 1, you're going to sign up. Step 2, you're going to create your first idea for us to make real. So you type that into the app, you type out some notes, maybe you share some examples or share a quick screencast of what the end result looks like that you want done, a landing page, a lead magnet, an entire funnel, whatever you can imagine, we can create it for you. You click on the button, make it real, and we get to work making it real for you. All right, so we break that down in 3 easy steps: step 1, step 2, step 3, right on our website. And we show it visually so it's even more clear, especially within the videos themselves. All right, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to subscribe to our channel if you're watching this on YouTube to get more great tips and content like this. We're putting out multiple resources every single week. Subscribe to our email newsletter. And if you want to learn more about how AutoGrow can help you to auto-grow your business, go to autogrow.co. You already learned about what we can do for you through this video. We can help you to delegate all of your digital marketing tasks. It's like an app. You log into our app, project management software. You put your idea in there, and you get work done by typing. It's awesome. I wish that someone had invented this for my first business, because a lot of people working out there, whether you're running an agency, whether you're a coaching professional, whatever, you're running a SaaS business, you would like to have a team of people, team of professionals, but it's so risky. You go on these different job board websites, try to find someone. You go on like a marketplace type of website, and you're wondering, okay, can the person actually do what they said they can do? Because I hired someone in the past and they disappeared, and hiring and firing drama, blah, blah, blah. You have to deal with any of that with AutoGrow. It's one flat monthly rate, all right? And sign up, and we can do whatever you want. You get basically, you get a whole team of professionals: copywriter, designer, developer, a team of basically 8 different skill sets at your disposal. Strategist. So if you want to get on the phone to actually brainstorm some sort of strategy for how to set up your funnel, how to increase conversions, how to grow your leads, your sales, you can do that. You can brainstorm with a professional who has done that, who has experience doing it, and can help you think through these problems strategically, plan out everything, and set it in motion. All right. So it's not just the execution, it's also the strategy, part of what makes us unique. All right, so go check it out. It's autogrow.co, and I will see you next time. Keep converting, stay focused.